To make a disposable piping bag, just take your scissors and cut off the end of a Ziploc bag after you've filled it. There you go. And then you just gently pipe them into the mushrooms so they look really nice. To make your classic bechamel sauce, which is basically a fancy name for a white sauce, to build your cheese, you're going to start with this simple ratio, which is 1 tablespoon of oil, you can use olive or vegetable, in a preheated pan. And then you're going to take 2 tablespoons of butter and let that mix together. 3 tablespoons of flour. 1, 2, 3. And if you need to add a little more or a little less of something, you can. And then you just whisk this together. You're going to let the flour cook out so you don't get that raw flour taste when you're eating it. So you let that cook for a few minutes until it starts to turn like a pale brown color. That's when you know that it's done, but don't let it burn. So you let that sit for a little bit. And then you'll add your milk. If your roux's a little too thick, just add a little more oil, and if you think it's a little too thin, then add a little more flour and cook it for another minute or 2. It's good to warm your milk or make it at least room temperature before you add it to your sauce. It will make things a little bit creamier and it won't get clumped up when you're cooking. So you're going to add it slowly. Reduce your heat a little bit. Add a little bit at first and make sure it's all incorporated. Then after that, you can add a little more. I usually eyeball this, but I say start with a 1/2 cup if you want to measure it, if you're not sure. And then from there, you can always add a little bit more, but you can never take it away. So add little bit by little bit. In total, you should use about 1.5 cups of milk. As I said, you can use a little bit less, a little bit more. When adding your cheese, you should add it little by little and then use a figure-8 motion when you're stirring. That way it doesn't get too clumpy and nothing happens to the consistency. Just a smooth, nice sauce. When it comes to seasoning your mac and cheese, you can use anything you want, just like you can use any cheese. For this, I use cheddar and Swiss. You could use Gruyere if you wanted a little bit more fancy cheese. But I'm just going to use a little bit of salt. And I use a little bit of garlic powder, but since this is for Valentine's Day, if you don't want a little too much garlic, that's okay. And a tiny dash of onion powder. And then just a tiny little bit of nutmeg. After mixing up your brownie batter and mixing up your strawberry cheesecake batter, you're just going to pour this on top. And after you've poured your strawberry cheesecake batter on, you're going to pour your reserved about 1/2 cup of the chocolate batter, the brownie batter. And you're going to pour that over it any way you like, as long as it gets on there. Make sure you get every last drop out of there. And once it's all mixed together up there, you're going to take a knife and you're just going to swirl it so it looks really pretty. Any way you like until it looks great.